marshals are investigating a house fire in central Lubbock this morning. Crews were called out to 1323 60th Street near Avenue P just before 6 last night. First responders say the house was empty. No injuries were reported. So far, the fire marshal's office has classified the cause of the fire as undetermined. And tenants at a South Lubbock apartment complex are blaming maintenance crews for a series of floods in their building, and they say management is not doing enough to help. Mike and Virginia Zubia have lived in the boulders at Lake Ridge Apartments since June. The couple says their apartment has flooded 3 times in the last 6 months. The last time was while they were on a trip for the holidays when a pipe burst in a vacant apartment next door.
I tried to go get a hold of maintenance or someone in the office. There was a note saying the office was closed until further notice. There was an emergency number. We called it about 3 to 4 times. Nobody answered. Nobody gave us a call back.
Zubia says after failed attempts to contact the complex and hours away from Lubbock, the couple had to call the fire department. Since then, Virginia says no one has come to check the damage or even test for mold. Now, this is a developing story. We'll keep you updated on air and online at kcbd.com. A Lubbock man is awaiting his federal trial behind bars this morning. 51-year-old Frederick Goltz is accused of threatening a mass shooting of poll workers. According to the affidavit from the FBI, Goltz called for mass shootings and claimed the 2020 and 2022 elections were rigged on social media sites. Goltz is also accused of trying to maliciously identify an Arizona County official on the internet, along with threatening a variety of other people in the Jewish community, police department, and city offices. If convicted, he faces up to 5 years in prison. Michael?
Right now, around 200 members of the Mexican military are in Juarez, Mexico. Mexico's defense ministry sent them to help guard the area after this weekend's prison attack that left 19 dead. Authorities now say 30 inmates escaped. Included was the head of a major cartel. Now, since then, investigators have found a special VIP zone inside the prison where some of the prisoners had special treatment. Mexican authorities also add another 7 people have died during police clashes as they hunt for escapees. Angie?
Good to know. Thanks, Michael. Around the nation, the NFL family is coming together to support injured Buffalo Bill Damar Hamlin. Fans from several teams held a vigil outside the Cincinnati hospital Tuesday. Hamlin remains in critical condition after collapsing on the field during Monday night's football game with the Bengals. Some experts suggest he could be suffering from a rare phenomenon called commotio cordis, which is a blunt blow to the chest that can cause life-threatening heart arrhythmia. We will have an update from Hamlin's family on his condition coming up in the next half hour. Now to a local story that has gained attention in the past several months. Lubbock Animal Services is trying to lower the stray population of animals in Lubbock, which calls for setting some goals in this new year. KCBD News Channel 11's Brittany Michelson stopped by the shelter to see how folks plan to meet that goal.
Well, one of the things we've started doing is try to be really community resource based, and so with that comes microchipping and spay and neuter are 2 of the big ones that come to mind.
On average this past quarter, 150 more animals were brought into the shelter each month than the same time the year before.
I don't know that you can read a lot into that. It seems like we've had more owner surrenders also, so that could be a lot of that uptick, but this is the slowest part of the year for us, so if we're still seeing an increase in numbers, it's kind of scary for what we're going to see this spring and summer because those are our busiest months.
Director Stephen Green says when it comes to spay and neutering services,
and it's just the only way really to fight that population, and there's just so many people that can't afford a spay and neuter that, you know, helping any way we can with whatever voucher we hand out is going to benefit the community.
This Sunday, it's handing out 50 vouchers for dogs to get fixed at a vet's office in town. In-house, LAS veterinarian Isla Machado and her 2 assistants performed more than 2,500 spay and neuter surgeries last year. She's so busy, she couldn't step away from the operating table.
I'm in the middle of a pretty normal workday here at the shelter, and I think we're on maybe number 25 or so of the day.
Machado also works 2 days a week at Pets Clinic of Lubbock, a low-cost spay and neuter clinic. This week, it'll complete its 10,000th surgery since opening in June 2020.
And the list is long and never gets shorter, so we know that the need is there and the want is there, which is great. And we're just really glad to be making an impact, one dog and cat at a time here in Lubbock.
Green says LAS will also focus on enforcement when it comes to problem dogs and issuing citations. To learn how to get one of the vouchers this Sunday, go to kcbd.com. Brittany Michelson, KCBD News Channel 11.
Brittany, thanks for that report. Now we're checking in with Steve Devine for a look at your morning forecast and what to expect throughout the day. Hi, Steve.
Good morning. This morning, just watching the very end of moonset out there to the west. Generally a fair sky showing up here across the area. Lubbock Airport right now is 38 degrees, a little bit breezy in a 10 to 20 mile per hour range. The breeze right now pushes our wind chill down to 30. Colder start to the morning as expected. Forecast high temperatures for us today. We'll see our highs peaking from the mid-50s to the low 60s. Warmest area in the low 60s will be the southeastern part of the viewing area. Post today about 60, Lubbock 58, Littlefield 55. Coolest area, if you will, in the mid-50s for the most part in the northwest. Again, it'll be pretty chilly out in that breeze, which will be picking up to about 15 to 25. That'll be the sustained range from about Lubbock out to the west and the south. A little less wind out to the northeast today. So our winds gusting 30, perhaps 35 miles per hour. Still no burn conditions for us. Lighter wind coming up for us tonight. So today is looking like the windiest day of the next several at least, but still breezy tomorrow and into Friday. Right now, the weekend is still looking with less, like it'll have less wind for us, but there's the potential for one of those California storm systems to move close enough that we could get some stronger winds than what it looks like right now, but still not expecting any precipitation. High today 58, which is where we were yesterday on our high temperature, but tomorrow 65, and by Friday 74 degrees. Next cold front arrives Friday night, so that'll knock our temperatures down a bit for the weekend, but still highs in the low 60s, still above average. Averages in the mid-50s this time of year for a high temperature. And again, colder tomorrow morning with the low down to about 29 degrees. And expecting this dry pattern to continue here through the weekend on into next week. We'll take a look at the 7-day forecast here in about 10 minutes. Angie?
Thanks so much, Steve. It is 6:10. Are you getting ready for your day? You're looking good. Coming up, we have an update on the water boil notice in Post. Plus, a man is being charged with attempted murder after being accused of driving his family off a cliff. The shocking story is next on Daybreak today. Stay with us. You're watching KCBD News Channel 11.